Valentine. Tonight we celebrate our love. Tonight you're my Valentine, 'cause Artie jumped the fence.
Big moves. Big win. The moose is loose. Big moves. Big win. The moose is loose. Big moves. Big win. The moose is loose. Big. 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 Welcome to the Valentine's Day special. Carl, I hope you liked that intro. It was made from my heart to yours.
I am so flattered.
Today we have no Artie here, so he jumped the fence, so he left me hanging, like, you know, so I'm hanging. And I have a co-host, because I'm the co-host. So, Carl, you're the co-host.
I like Coco.
And today, I wanted to talk about how do you teach someone a war game? Why? Because I have a hard time learning when someone talks to me like, look at this shit and look at that, and then the car goes by and look at that, and the leaves are doing this in the trees, and it's not happening. Bloody here, bloody here. Anyways, look, hello to Charles, Frank Shuley, Stephen Roberts, John Longshore. What do you mean, ick? Come on, love is love, man. William Aarons, hello from Kitchener, Ontario. And, Stigler's here. Should we stop the show now?
Nah.
All right, hey.
Ronald
Nicholson, how are you there? Hey, Ron, it's been a while. Okay, so, Carl.
Yes.
You're basically the teacher of all teachers, you know what I mean? Because that's what you do. And I remember when I was playing Fire in the Lake, but the expansion. Personally, I thought I was playing Fire in the Lake at WBC, and I was playing with Mark Herman, the designer, and I was playing with the two Farmerate guys there. What's their names there? Grant and the Limey guy.
Farmer Ted? No. Oh, you're talking about the Players' Aid. Got it.
The Players' Aid. Sorry. And I remember Mark. I was Mark's partner, and I don't know if he was disillusioned or we were drunk, but at one point we were talking about Pacific War. It was just coming out, and he was doing stuff, you know, just getting it off the road. And after he played with me for a couple of minutes, he said, by the way, Dan, that game's not for you. And I thought, what is it? What do you think? I'm stupid? No, but he read me right away. You understand, Carl?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So when you see someone, obviously you don't read them right away, but as soon as you sit down with the person and you tell them something, and the first thing they do you know exactly what type of person you're dealing with and how to approach that person, or do you just give up? Nah.
No. The way we do it at the War Game Boot Camp is we usually set up some tables at a convention, and then we tell them, okay, we're going to be here for 8 hours. Anytime you have some free time, we're not going to schedule it. You know, we're going to just let you come by when you're between games, or, you know, you don't have anyone to play with, or, you know, whatever. And we'll teach you a game. We'll sit down for an hour, and we'll give you.
Okay, so hold on. Are you choosing the game you're going to teach me?
No.
Really?
I choose the games I bring, and then I kind of talk to the person and find out what they're interested in. If they're not sure, which sometimes they aren't, because they get, it's a little overwhelming, especially if you've never done this, or, you're not sure what you want to do, then, we'll offer up some suggestions, sure. But
Okay, Carl, I want to play a game that I'm not into the system. I'm not into it at all, but I want to learn how to play it, and I don't even like it because I don't even know it. Teach me a coin game.
Okay. I normally don't do that. We're not big fans of coin.
I want to learn coin.
Okay, well, what I can do is I can offer you alternatives.
I want to learn coin.
Okay, well, if you're going to be
Are
difficult,
you not the war game boot camp?
we're not perfect. Okay. If we brought a coin game, then great. We'll sit down and do that. If you're like, no, I really want to learn coin. Another thing I've done, because I've had that happen where someone asked me about coin and I'm like, we didn't bring any coin games. We found on the schedule a coin game for them. And then we sat down with the guy that was running it like an hour before and helped him kind of walk through it, just so he had an idea of what was going on when he started with the regular game.
In an hour.
Yeah, about a little less than an hour, actually. But yeah.
Hey,
you don't want to, the problem with training is you don't want to go too long. You don't want to go into every detail of the game right away.
What's too long?
It depends on the person. Like for you, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe. For someone who really wants to learn something and they really want to dig into it and understand it, then, we can take longer. That's fine. We're kind of flexible.
Yeah, but I want to understand and I want to learn how to play this so fascinating system, and it's beside me. I got a psychological block.
Okay, so if someone come up to me and said that, I would try to figure out what the block is. So, and then slowly try to figure out if we can kind of break that down and kind of go over it. What is it you're having trouble with? Are you having trouble understanding the way the mechanics work? And what I think one of the biggest keys to teaching people games is give them a context for the rules. Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? So in coins example, I notice a lot of people get confused by the cards at the top, right? That dictate who goes in what turn order and the event and who can do it and all that.
And when do you play them?
Right, exactly. So we kind of, I'll break those down and say, okay, well, this whole mechanic is designed to change up the turn order, because in a counterinsurgency, it's not I go, you go, you know exactly what's going on. It's you take your opportunities when you get them, right? And then you kind of want to weigh the options. Do I want to go now when it's not the best time to go because I want to go first? Why do you want to go first? Or
because you got the card, you want to play it. Because I have the card, I want to play it.
Right. But, that may not be your best option. So I think another thing that a lot of people kind of lose sometimes in games is they focus so much on the mechanics and what am I supposed to do next, instead of looking at what am I trying to do through the whole game? Where am I trying to go? Right?
I was stuck on the mechanics. I didn't understand what the hell was going on.
And you know what? If it just keeps coming up that way, you just go with the flow. I tell people that too sometimes. It's like I've tried to explain it 3 different ways. Every teacher will tell you that some people just don't get what you are saying. And I've done this, in IT and in my life, and I've taught lots of people lots of things. And I've explained it, and I thought I made perfect sense. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And then somebody else walks up and explains it in a slightly different way, and they go, "Why couldn't you have said that?"
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the way people learn. You know, you're not going to be perfect.
John Longshore's
that. Huh?
John Longshore's question, does that come into play with me? I want to learn coin, blah blah blah. So, what's your favorite game to teach, and will you push that on me?
No. The key to teaching war games, and you know, I've heard you guys discuss this with ARDWULF, and I've heard this on various streaming channels and all kinds of stuff. My secret and what I think works best is, what are they most interested in? Do they want World War I? Do they want World War II? Do they want the Pacific? Do they want, you know, a World War III game? Do they want, you know, cards? Do they want this? Do they want that? You know, various things. And I don't jump in right away and go, here's a game. I sit down with them and kind of get to know what they want.
So what is your favorite game to teach, man? And why?
Right now, it's a toss-up. HOLLANDSPIELE's Musket and Pike is really good to teach people. It's a simple game. It's got a lot of theme to it. So you can talk about what's going on as you're playing it and the history of what's going on. The Command and Colors games are very good for first-time players. But to be honest, I've taught guys that have never played a war game that said, I've heard everything about Paths of Glory. I want to learn Paths of Glory.
And
really, and we did. We sat down and played Paths of Glory. And they got it.
And you think
they have a vested interest in it?
You think you could do this over FaceTime type thing?
Yeah, we did. We do it during COVID. That's all we did was online.
And look, how many people do you teach at one time? I want to learn Paths of Glory. Is it just one person?
Usually we try to find pairs so that I can kind of step out and teach two people, like the sides, and then I can kind of bounce back and forth. And I don't understand this card. Okay, I can look at that card because I'm not playing, right? So they don't feel like that's a big thing. So whenever we do it, we try to either match them up with one of their friends that they bring over, or we find someone else who really wants to play that game, and then we hook them up. And then that way we can teach for an hour and then kind of step back and let them play and then just answer questions as they go. And then I can start another demo of something else. Right.
So, okay. I have an issue. I have an issue here with Combat Commander. Karl and I played a few times Combat Commander. Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
And this guy moves fast. Okay, Karl's one of those guys. I don't worry about it. Move fast, move fast. I mean, I'm stuck at how to get to Karl's place already, right? Whatever. So there's a fire group that you can do.
Correct.
Okay. Now, one of these guys is carrying a machine gun, a heavy machine gun.
Right.
Now, when you do a fire group in Combat Commander, how do you start getting the odds for how many points you got to fire on? How do you start?
It's actually pretty simple. In Combat Commander, you have a fire group, which means they're in contiguous hexes and they've been ordered by a leader, right?
Right.
You find the one unit with the highest firepower.
Right.
That's your base number. Everything else is +1.
Everything else is +1.
Everything else is just +1. So if you have a unit, you have a light machine gun that fires 3 firepower, but you have a squad that fires 5 firepower in that same group, you choose the 5.
Right.
And then everything else that shoots is +1 to that 5.
So what about the machine gun? I remember once Karl saying, so are you... That's it.
That's it.
It's not like you're going to use the machine gun after you've done the squad tally and then use the machine gun later.
Once it fires, cannot fire again. So they're done.
That's it.
That's it. Honest. I've played tons of Combat Commander. And again, breaking it down instead of, and no offense to Carl Paradis, even though he spells his name wrong. People like that are great to play with. They're not so good to have you teach them the game. They are not patient. They don't take the time to go, oh, I'm losing him. I got to slow down here.
No, Carl's not patient. Carl's not patient.
No, and that, there are people like that. That's fine. They don't teach. They should be, off playing games. And if they want to come to me and learn a game, that's great too. Yeah, and what Stilgard's saying, you like I said, you take the system and you break it down.
Stigler, not Stilgar. For
Did I
God's
do that?
sake.
I'm sorry. I get excited when I'm talking and I lose track. Look, squirrel. Yeah.
So I mean, okay, so then that's it. That was my beef with Combat Commander. So, yeah. But why, or did I misunderstand? Why did he say, so are you going to use your machine gun now or later? Is it me that misunderstood?
The only thing with machine guns and Combat Commander, there's a caveat. If you roll certain numbers on the dice when you draw the card, you can break this machine gun.
Right. No, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that might have been what he was talking about.
So then the machine gun.
I mean, once you fire a fire group, they're done until your next card play. So I don't know what he means by use it or lose it, because that's not really how it works. But maybe there was something in that scenario, or he was saying that you could break the machine gun. I don't know.
Okay. So you got a fire group, and you're firing into another squad.
Yep.
Obviously, you're going to fire into the leader, right? You're going to aim for the leader. Is that right?
Leaders are a good idea, yeah, because if you take the leader out, they can't form their own fire groups. They can only fire individually if they have no leader. So instead of taking a bunch of hexes and stringing them together, you can only fire from one hex.
And then once you've done that, the play is done. Every chit that's been used cannot be used again, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they're flipped over, they stay flipped over until they play a card to heal them, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Your goal is to get 2 hits on a squad. That takes the squad out.
Hold on, 2 hits on a squad.
So when you fire, you resolve it, you go through all that, and you add all those together.
Oh, yeah, it's true. You target
that die roll to the card, to the number. And then you
target every single player. Is that right?
No, you target a unit in a hex. As I recall. I don't. So you got certain stuff I think that do area like the whole hex, but usually it's 1 unit within the hex. And if you hit them, they flip over. But then that fire team is done, so you can't shoot again until your next card play. So if you have a different squad, you could shoot them again, and then that will take them out. Or you have to wait and hope they don't flip back over before you get to shoot again.
Okay, it's been a while I haven't played. Now, the thing is, you got a squad, you're doing a fire group, you aim at the leader, and you shot him. But what about the other guys in the group? The other guys you're aiming at?
Nothing.
Are you sure about that?
Well, okay, it's been a while for Combat Commander to me too. Maybe you do the whole hex.
I think you do that, yeah.
I don't remember. I'd have to look at it. But
okay.
As I recall, it was like, oh yeah, no, it is the whole hex because you're doing like a mass fire.
That's right. It is the whole right.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. Sorry, I was a little rusty.
Nah, no problem. So look, you were playing Europa Universalis, right?
Yeah, this last Saturday.
Okay, I want to play, Carl. I want to play. Is it a good idea for me to come into your group and play?
Sure.
Really?
We had 3 of no one had played it, including me. I read the rules, and so I was kind of leading it, but none of us had played before. We're used to having people that have never played games before, especially big games, and we kind of show them what to do.
And these people are well versed in war games, or would you call that a war game?
I would call it very war-ish. I don't know if people call it a war game, but I think it's
you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get into the whole shebang.
No, a game's a game. I don't go in for this stuff, because nitpicking about what's a war game and what a war game is to one person is not to the other.
Yeah, okay. So
both people are right. Whatever,
so the people you were playing with, were they well versed in games?
Yes, Tim was there. Tim Porter. Some other friends of mine that we've been in this group forever. Yeah. But we have new people come in. We have one guy we'd never met before show up for a while, and we gave him we let him do a couple turns so he could get a feel for it.
So Carl, okay. Carl, I want to play a game. You know me, right?
Sure.
So I want to play, you tell me yes or no, okay?
Okay.
I want to play Pacific War.
Okay.
No, yes and no. Yes or no?
Yes. I will always.
Really?
No, if someone says, I want this specific game, and I brought it, we will play it.
Really?
No, I don't. I understand some games are more complicated than others, but if that's what they really want to play, the complexity doesn't matter. That was my point when I was telling you I taught that guy Paths of Glory. He'd never played a war game.
Yeah, but I thought Paths of Glory was not as complex as Pacific War.
Yeah, probably it's not as complex, but it is on the complexity scale as far as wargamers are concerned. It's not something you can just kind of pick up and play in 10 minutes without some help.
What about Empire of the Sun? I want to learn Empire of the Sun.
I've taught Empire of the Sun. Well, I taught Crossing the Bismarck Barrier because it's smaller, right? But it's same system, same game. It's just a piece of Empire of the Sun.
Oh, I'm trying to stump you here.
Time
for Trumpets, Bruce and Gallo.
If I know how to teach it, then yeah, I've never read the rules on it, so you'd have to warn me, and I'd have to prepare, and we wouldn't do the whole thing. We'd pick a small scenario. But sure, I could show you the basics. I don't know if I can show you everything, and that's what a lot of people get hung up on. Normally at the boot camp, we don't bring monster games unless specifically requested to do so.
But wouldn't that be a problem if you did bring a monster game and then you're bogged up for a couple of hours?
The rules are at a con. The rules are I'll teach you for an hour, maybe a little longer, and then if you have a partner and you want to keep playing, that's cool. But if it's just me, I got to go.
So you have a 1 hour limit. Okay. I know someone said that in the comments. They're good for teaching for 45 minutes. Yeah, there you go.
Give or take, it depends on the game and what's going on. But if no one else is asking us for demos, then yeah, I can stay longer. But we're trying to get as many people involved as we can. So if there's calls on my time, then that's why we always encourage, if you come over, bring a friend, or if we have someone there who's like, oh yeah, I'll play that. Okay, cool. We'll sit you both down, and that way you can play as long as you want.
Okay, Frank, he says when he's teaching someone a game, he tells them what he wants to do, and then for them to show me. Let's say I don't know what my options are for asking you what to do in the bloody game.
So when it's your turn, especially if you're looking kind of stumped or you're kind of sitting there going, there's a lot going on here, I will usually start naming off your options. Even if they're bad options, I will say, this is the spectrum of what you can do. Now, some of these are going to be better than others to do, but these are your options. So, and then when I make moves, if I'm playing, I explain why I'm making that move, so that you can see kind of the reasoning behind why you're doing certain things.
Okay, I can't do what Frank is like. I can't go into a game the way Frank said, I want to do this, I want to do that. I need what Stigler just said. He said, basically, the teacher should tell the learner what it is they might be trying to accomplish, so I know what my options are.
Mm-hmm. That's
Capiche?
exactly what you're doing. Yeah. You say, okay, well, we're playing this scenario, so your objectives are maybe these hexes, or whatever the scenario is calling for, right? So you'll go over that, and then I'll go over some basic rules, but I won't go over all the rules, because you'll just overwhelm them and make them go to sleep, because that takes forever. So I will say, okay, here's the first turn. If we have to reset the first turn because it gets all screwed up, no big deal. And then we just go through a turn. And then I ask him, okay, do you have questions on how this worked, how the sequence of play went, what we were doing? Cool. We go over those. And then do you want to proceed to the second turn, or you want to start again?
Yeah, I would start again.
Okay, that's fine. And I encourage people to do, I guess, what some people might call stupid things to see how the system works. Like, oh, I'm going to march these guys out here. Okay, well, they'll probably get killed, but you'll see how that works. Unfortunately, stacking limit, we were not invited to Dice Tower West this year, and I got kind of bogged down in some other things. We're doing San Diego HISCon on March 18th. They're doing a one-day online convention. So we'll be there. I'm going to contact the Dice Tower West guys for next year and see if they want to do the boot camp again. They had us in 2017, but we haven't been back since.
So, okay, so it's funny. You're going to the Dice Tower West. The Dice Tower, okay? The Dice Tower is known for Euro games, big time.
Yep.
So you're the anomaly there. You're the weirdo, man. All right? You know what I'm trying to say?
They're all my peeps, man, but sure.
Yeah, you're the weirdo there. Don't worry about it. You're and plus you're 6'9". You're king weird. And the thing is that the people that come to you versus the people that come to you during war game cons, what's the difference?
To be honest, Dice Tower West was one of the best conventions we ever went to. We had a ton of people. I used to live in Las Vegas, and I know a bunch of guys that live there that I see all the time at like GMT weekend at the warehouse and stuff. So they all showed up. And so I got to see them again. And then they're kind of like the hardcore war game crowd for Vegas, right? But we had a bunch of people who had traveled, from different parts of the country. One guy was a former war gamer that wanted to get back in. We had a bunch of people who were like, wow, I've never played a war game, but I've always wanted to try one. And so we had a bunch of people. I think we had 20 or 30 different people come through the boot camp that weekend. It was crazy.
So what, they're more enthusiastic?
I think that they are. I think there are a lot of curious Euro gamers out there that they've played a bunch of Euro games and they're like, wow, this is really cool, but I want to see what these guys are doing. Because I keep hearing about it. I keep hearing about this stuff. Maybe it's because they have this heavier Euro game like, Europa Universalis or something like that they got. And they're like, wow, this is really complicated. Maybe the war game guys can help me out, or at least help me, learn what complicated games are about.
And this Europa Universalis, Carl, is it the
that.
talk out of town because it's new right now? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it just came out. It was on Kickstarter.
Jeez, I thought you passed gas there, man.
No, that's my phone.
Wow. Because I was going to say that's clean gas, man. You must take a shower. But hey, but this Europa Universalis, how many times are you going to play this game, man?
As much as I can.
Seriously? It's that fun?
I think that it's kind of, as I was telling you offline, I think it's kind of like Here I Stand amped up. Or Virgin Queen, which is Here I Stand amped up also. But
isn't that
a different way? You do different.
Isn't that Richard Berg? Richard Berg, no, Here I Stand? Ed Beach.
Ed Beach. Who now works on great battles great campaigns of the American Civil War, I think, if I recall correctly.
You see, Stigler, I couldn't learn that way, even back in my day, because I think I'm older than you, for God's sakes. Yeah, what a concept, huh? What happens if people can't read very well? Stigler, yeah, dirty rat.
Well, like I'm learning, I'm punching and learning, where is it? Inferno right now.
Is that Volko's name?
Yeah, it's the new Levian campaign.
And what's up with this Levian campaign? What's the new mechanic in this thing?
It's medieval operational, and so you call your lords and you get like 60 days to do whatever you're going to do with them, and then all their vassals start going home. So you have to plan out what you're going to do and make sure you have enough supplies and transports and everything else to get them to where you want to take over or battle or whatever. And you know, it's a very different kind of thing. As Artie has pointed out, it's one of the very few medieval operational games out there.
Is it fun?
I don't know yet. I've been going through the example of play and just kind of pushing pieces around and stuff. I have a guy on Wednesday. I'm going to try to see if he wants to play.
Does he, Volko? Does he? I know he's the father of coin, this and that, I guess, and now he's the father of Living Campaign, and then he's probably the father of George and Frank. But is he complex for nothing, or is he easy? Is he easy learning, man?
I think he does a good job.
Because he used to be a teacher, the guy.
Was he? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know he worked for the CIA. But
yeah, I think he was a teacher at the CIA.
I don't know what he did. Yeah. No, I've met Volko. I've actually watched him teach Inferno at the last San Diego HISCon when it was down in San Diego before the game came out. He was teaching. No, I'm sorry. He was teaching the other one, Almoravid, the Spanish one.
Almoravid.
Yeah. You say it so much better than I do. And you know, everyone seemed to really enjoy it and like it, and it's a cool because it can do teams and stuff. You can have like 2 players do a side and stuff like that because there's lots of stuff going on. I think, you know, I haven't played one yet. That's why I'm trying to, and I'm really interested in the Italian wars that this covers. I can't pronounce this. The Guelphs and Ghibellines.
What are you talking about? But bring it. Hold on. It's Inferno, Guelphs, and Ghibelline.
Sure. It's
that's hard.
And 12.
I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. I'd have to really look at it.
I've heard Guelphs and Ghibellines, but I don't know if that's
maybe
right.
That's what it is. I don't know, but yeah.
It's the guys who are supported by lords, the Ghibellines, and then the Guelphs were supported by the Pope, and they were fighting.
I don't know. I'd rather be
in medieval and Renaissance Italy warfare. I have a couple games that I keep meaning to get to, so I'm gonna try to get to. I was excited when this one came out.
Yeah, I'd rather be a Guelph than a Ghibelline because a Ghibelline just sounds a little bit more
like giblets.
Yeah. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Giblets, giblets, all the above.
Hey, stacking limit. Be nice to Stigler. He's a guy, he's part of the gang. He's only there to bust balls. Is that your dog, Carl?
One of them. My wife just got home, so she.
Oh, so it's Valentine's Day, yeah?
House.
Holy moly. What bloody hell, she caught us.
She went. See, like this game room I have is like separate from the house. It's one of those rooms that isn't attached to the house.
Hey, so you know what? What system is good for you to teach, man?
Systems?
Yeah.
I've taught all kinds. SCS is a good one if you like hex and counter games and the topics they cover, because it's simple, straight, how all war games work. This is how you move. This is ZOC, zone of control.
Yeah.
Straight odds combat with some, variation. Sometimes 8 pages of base rules and maybe 4 or 5 pages of special rules for that particular topic, whatever you're playing, and that's it.
Okay, zone of control. So your opponent's got a zone of control. That's another question.
Sure.
Now, can you enter that zone of control if you want to attack these guys?
Sure. Okay, we would. If you had specific questions, I'd say, okay, let's set up a thing and put these guys in 2 hexes next to each other, and we'll go over combat. It's usually just adding up the factors and figuring out what the odds are, and if there's shifts on the table, and then modifiers, and roll it. You're done.
And that's it.
Usually.
What about artillery?
It depends on the game, but yeah, artillery, usually you just add everything together and there you go. Or sometimes artillery fires before the combat. It depends on the game. Like they have games ranging from World War I all the way to World War III. So in the specialized rules, things can be a little different.
Yeah.
They just tweak the base, the series rules. They go, this is what the differences are, and then you just go.
Is there any yes or no, don't name the companies. Is there any company or publisher that you will not play because it's the rules and the complexity of the stuff is just too abstract?
No.
Oh, really?
No. We've never rejected anybody. I mean, there are games I don't necessarily like.
Well, that's that's personal.
I don't tell people that. I just say, what do you want? If I have it, you can play it. But the key is either I have to have it or you got to have it, because it's all our private collection.
Can I ask you who you're a fan of and who you're not a fan of, or no?
I'm a fan of you, Dan.
It's game publishers, for God's sake.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Almost everyone.
Yeah, almost everybody.
There's a few that I'm just. I'm kind of like Artie. They just don't make games that I'm super interested in.
Yeah,
that happens.
Like decision games. You're fine with decision games?
Yeah, I'm fine. There's only specific games I have from them because those are the ones I really like. I'm willing to explore more if someone shows me one and I go, wow, that's really cool. I'll buy it. Sure.
What games do you have by decision?
I have my favorite Grand Strategic World War II game is by decision. It's Totaler Krieg, the Axis Empires, and then Axis Empires d'Ascenso.
So you're talking about basically 2 huge boxes encompassing the West and the Pacific theater.
The whole World War II. Yep. We've played that a couple times.
Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between that system and a system like World in Flames, where it's the same type of thing, isn't it?
It's the same subject matter. That's about the only similarity. I did not enjoy World in Flames.
No.
And to be honest, I'm willing to give it another shot, but the one I played, they threw in everything. They had ships in flames and toilets in flames, and
well, there's your Dicenso, and there's your Totaler Krieg and all that, man.
Yeah, but there's no supplements. There's no adding in all this extra crud that I just thought was like, it's not my cup of tea, you know? And I played a lot. Grand Strategic World War II is kind of like one of my favorites. I've played a lot of them. I've played from Rise and Decline of the Third Reich to Advanced Third Reich to then I started branching out. That's when I got into the first Totaler Krieg and what are some of the other ones? Right now you can't see it on my table, but I have the Columbia block game all set up. I don't have it on the map, but I have all the blocks out, and the neoprene map I got is out. And, I was gonna try to see if I could get some people to try that. I've done Europe engulfed and Asia engulfed. I've done a bunch of them.
That's good. That's good.
I miss it. Yes.
By the way, I my toilet is not finished yet, so I'm still holding it in.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling you, man.
How long does it make a toilet? What?
Ah, Christ. He's redoing a whole bloody thing, and it's like he's doing right now he's at the at putting the tiles in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Sure.
And and he just sanded the walls, and I was supposed to paint today, but I'm not going to paint today because I had a show, and it was Valentine's Day, and I had to cook and all that shit, man.
All that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Did you hear about my toilet?
I just did.
No, you don't. My toilet, the toilet I bought.
Would you get some NASA built toilet that seals and
Kinda.
Right.
Let me tell you about my toilet, okay?
Please tell me about your toilet.
Look, you told me about horrors and blows, so let me tell you about my toilet. I bought a toilet, Carl, $1,500.
Oh my God!
And it's not even gold plated.
Wow.
The freaking Pope doesn't have a toilet like this. So basically, the toilet, regular toilet seat, but in the back of it, you have some sort of Vitamix.
Excuse me?
Yeah, because you can put this toilet anywhere in the house. You don't need the plumbing for it.
So no offense, you carry this shit around.
I've been carrying it for 2 months, but anyways. What happens is that you poop in the toilet, it macerates whatever you pooped, and shoots it through a tube into where your water is, into your water main or your sewer. And you got, I think, 25 feet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no need for a portable toilet, but I mean, to each their own, I guess.
No, we had to condemn our toilet because our house would flood every bloody year, and it's like you wouldn't believe how many gallons of sewage water would come into our toilet. It's disgusting.
Oh God! When I was in college, we lived in an apartment building, and they had one pipe go down the corner of the building where all the bathrooms were. And I guess somebody up on the 7th floor flushed the toilet, and it came shooting out of my toilet, like all over. Because I guess one of the seals broke or something. I don't know.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it was horrible. It was traumatic.
Anyway, so
okay, I understand that. So yeah.
Okay, so that took time, right? And this was a new thing for him. Actually, it's a new thing for
space age
a lot of. This is a new thing for a lot of plumbers, man. It's like, what? You know, and then you have to figure.
A lot of plumbers are like, I don't even know what to do with that.
I'm telling you, and then we had to connect the shower to it, and we had to connect the
Sorry.
the washer to it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, so they can both move around the house?
Well, I mean, it's got to go somewhere.
Right. But it's
So
all...
it goes through the macerator, and then it's being shot up. Okay, so you did all that, right?
I'm just macerator. I think, wow, are you composting or?
Actually, you know what? That if we had money,
No, Amazon. That's great.
Frank, t'as pas de sacchiappa na paralysis. Anyways. No, so we had to have that toilet. By the way, this is a toilet you can have anywhere in the house. You don't need the main, a toilet drain, this and that. So you know what? They charge you $1,500 for that. Basically, you buy a toilet. It's $200, man. You know?
Honey, I'm gonna go take the toilet in the dining room. So
you could do that. You could do that.
Okay.
You could be like Tommy. You could be like Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee of Motley Crue when he does his drumming thing and the drums turn on. Yeah, you can have that toilet there, no problem.
Well, then
I'm telling you,
stealing NASA one so it doesn't come out. But yeah,
but I think the NASA toilets is a vacuum of sorts, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Some sort of suction.
Do you think we're demonetized?
I'm not, so I'm okay.
Hey,
Mike.
Yeah. You know, hey, Mike, my toilet's being made. I swear to God, I can't wait.
No, what you tell people is, I'm waiting. My toilet's being crafted.
You know, and you know what, people, you're all invited to my house for a shit and a shower.
Anywhere you want in the house.
No, well, it's not because it's built there. You're all invited. Come to my house, drop the kids off at the pool, and then take a shower. I'm telling you. Is it an artisanal toilet? Nah.
I don't know what that means.
I didn't have the money, meaning that it's, you know, like it's well, what do you mean? How can I explain that? It's made artisanally.
Oh, okay. Sure.
For God's sakes, man. What's this? What's this here? I don't know. It's made for my height too. Trust me. I got my island in the kitchen because my island actually has wheels. You can pop it up and move it around just like my toilet.
What?
And
so when you get like Siri or Google or whatever with the little speaker, you can just say, Siri, reconfigure my house. I'm bored with this layout. Reconfigure my house. You're living the Jetsons' dream, dude.
I'm telling you. Hey, Frank, I bought the Japanese system. Cheech, I paid $150 for that system. That system will sing you a lullaby, my friend. All right? No, I wouldn't waste that. I wouldn't waste that Mersham. I wouldn't waste a Mersham on a toilet seat. I'd smoke it.
Put it on a Roomba.
These people are crazy. No, I'm telling you, man, we have to condemn it. We have to do it. And you wouldn't believe my budget was, and this is, you're probably gonna laugh. My budget was 10 grand Canadian. That's good, man.
Lost control of the show.
You know, my budget was 10 grand, or our budget was 10 grand Canadian. That's like about $250 American. And I think we're edging close to 20, man. Well, remember when I was talking to you, Carl, and I said, you know, when a construction guy comes in, you don't know, it's always extra money. And Carl was trying to be nice. Yeah, probably $1 grand more. Where do you live? $1 grand more. The guy comes in the house in the morning, it's $1 grand. For God's sakes, man.
It's gonna be
you know, talking about
2 weeks.
Talking about the toilet. Do you bring rules to the toilet?
Not usually, no. Sometimes if I think I'm going to be stuck there a while, I'll bring my iPad. My iPad, my rule books, all that.
And if you had my toilet, you could be buzzing around the house.
Rolling around the house. Yeah, I could get things done.
Frank, you know, that might be a thing, but I'm not going to be doing my duty. Because for some reason in the States, when you say duty, it means duty. But here, duty means you're paying money to the government. That's your
Not
duty.
the same thing. Isn't that the same shit?
We're getting ahead of ourselves, man. Look at that. Toilets in flames.
Toilet. There you go. Yeah, like I said, when we were playing WIF, it was too much. I was rolling to see if pilots survived when you shot down my planes. I'm like,
is it that chromy?
It can be. Because the guys I played with are like, they've been playing WIF forever. So they do like everything. And I said, if we do this again, can we just do like the base game? Do we have to do all this extra? And they said, yeah. And I actually picked up the World War I version of it because that looked interesting. I just haven't sat down with it yet.
So what, Carl, when I remember when I was younger, I would get into all this technical stuff, okay? And the more technical it was, the more fun for me, the deeper it got. What? It's over? It's over that?
What's over there?
Is it over all this chrome?
What's over? What do you mean by over?
Like you don't want to play games like that anymore, overly technical?
No.
And why is that?
The reason I got into war games and role-playing games and everything else I've done since I was, I don't know, 12, is because I hated simple games. I grew up loving games like, you know, Monopoly, Life, Trouble, Stratego, you know, and I literally walked up to my dad in the 4th grade and said, Dad, I'm sick of these games. I love games, but these are just not doing it. And he goes, give me 2 weeks. And he
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's always 2 weeks, right? And he went on a business trip, and I guess he knew someplace, and he came back with Panzer Blitz. And then that Christmas, I got the original blue cover Dungeons and Dragons game too. And that was it for me. I love exploring the complexity of the mechanics. I love exploring how the mechanics are telling the story.
Okay, what about now?
Same thing. I've never.
Hold on, you don't want to play the World in Flames, the complete edition, because you don't want to know if the pilot survived or not.
I don't. At a strategic level, why do I care about a pilot?
Okay, you're right. You're right.
I mean, that's not when I play a strategic game. I guess the best explanation is that's not the story I want to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny that it's really strange that in a strategic game, why would they have that level of detail?
You know, some guys get into that and enjoy it, and I think the company, what is that, Australian Design Group, was just adding stuff on because that's how they made their money. They made a game and then they made a bunch of supplements for it. You know, and they were like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And I was talking to my friends who've been playing this game forever, and they were like, yeah, one would come out and it would break something, so they have to come out with a new one, you know, or whatever. Oh, I love Unconditional Surrender. In fact, I hunted down a 2nd edition copy. I think I paid like $250 for it or something.
For Unconditional Surrender?
Yeah, because it was out of print. And it was like the new edition, and then they put it on the P500 right after I bought it.
You mean Sal Vasta's game?
Yeah.
Shit, I would have sold you mine for $150.
But is it 1st or 2nd edition?
I don't know.
If it's not 2nd edition, I wouldn't have been interested.
Ah.
So, because they changed some stuff and all that, but I have friends who kind of didn't like the fiddle knee. I can't say it. Fiddle.
You got me going now.
The
Philly,
all the sorties.
fiddliness.
Yeah, of the sorties. So what we did was we used the pauldron counters from other games. You know, those numbers that you just turn the counter and it's a different number.
No, but anyways.
Yeah, we just started using those because it was easier than, because you had like 1 through 6 counters and you kept switching them out. It was kind of a pain. So I just said, here, just use these, and it worked much better. Sorry. Well, you got to spell my name right first, Mike.
No, I prefer this.
Girl. Girl.
Hey!
Yeah, I played Unconditional Surrender. I've played The Supreme Commander. I've played Lebestrom from Compass. I've played The Second World War from One Small Step.
Lebensraum.
Is that Lebestrom?
Lebestrom. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I love strategic games. I love games where the mechanics just seem to help tell a really cool story. I'm kind of a spell check. Like I love Jerry White's Atlantic Chase, because I just think that mechanic tells such an interesting story the way that it's done. You know,
as opposed to his air battles across. What the hell is it called? I can't read. I'm blind from here.
Battle.
Skies above Britain. Skies storm. Yeah, I know. I mean, so do I. But I mean, you prefer the scale of Atlantic Chase as opposed to?
No. They tell different stories. They're different. I like different scales. Don't bother me. I just, I play specific games because of the scale or because of what they do. Like Atlantic Chase is, if you play the whole thing, it's the story of the entire war in the Atlantic.
I have that game. I gotta play it. I love Jerry White.
30 solo scenarios, dude. I don't do solo, but you do, so do it. Or call me up. We'll do Vassal one day or whatever.
Actually, I took the day off tomorrow because I have to paint. Maybe I'll give you a call. We'll smoke a pipe.
Okay, but I might be going to a friend's tomorrow, so call me early and let me know.
But I'm your Valentine tonight, for God's sakes. And you're going to see a friend already?
Sorry.
You're a scumbag.
Games are games, man.
Look at me now. Look what you did to me.
I know, I'm terrible. I feel horrible. I'll get you some flowers.
Yeah. So what about Carl? Last stupid question here. Okay. I want to play a solo game. Can you teach me a solo game?
Yes.
Has that happened?
Yeah. Usually I'll sit down and we'll go over the rules for an hour, and then you're off. And then when you have questions, just come find me. That's how we do it. One of our very first war game boot camps, one of the other guys that was helping us brought all of his States of Siege games when VPG still had all the Ziploc ones.
Yeah.
And he set them all out on a table, and he would say, okay, if you win, you get like 1 point. If you lose, you get like half a point, and then he'd sit down and show people how to play them, and said, anytime you want to come down and sit down and play them, and then we'll keep track of your score and give prizes to the people with the most points at the end of the con. I swear to God, we had people playing who got like 20 points.
Yeah, you still have a lot of those games, victory point games?
No, not really.
There's something nostalgic and fun about those games, man.
I had a guy ask me on Board Game Geek to buy my Levian Mass,
Yeah.
the original one, and I just gave it to him because
Look at the sweetheart that you are, eh?
I own a bunch of solitaire games that I'm just not playing. I have RAF and I have all of Jerry's games, and I have.
What the hell did you ever give me? Except grief.
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
I sent you some tobacco that one time.
Did you? Oh yeah, Sherlock Holmes. You somebody.
Who's on now, huh?
Wait. Hold on a second.
$100 to get that to you.
Wait, I gotta do this.
Oh, Carl, you are my Valentine. Tonight, we celebrate our love. Tonight, you are my Valentine. 'Cause Artie jumped the fence.
You see what I do for you. You see what I do for you.
I totally see that. Yes.
Well, okay, Carl. Thanks for doing this, man. I mean,
fun. Thanks for having me.
it's a completely different show with me and someone, and Artie and somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Artie's got something.
I never replace Artie. I can only.
I can't replace Artie.
Follow in his footsteps.
Hey, people, thank you for showing up, even though Artie wasn't here. But hey, I had fun. Carl was a great host. Great host or co-host? Coco host.
Coco host.
Yes. You know, we used to call Coco, huh? But anyways, Carl, thanks for doing this, and stick around, man. Thank you, people. I'll see you next week. Artie's going to be on next week, but he's going to be on in a con. He's going to be at a con. Woo! On in a con. He's going to in. See you later, man.
Broadcasting from a con.